Buphina kuphi emakhaya amadolobheni asekomplasta khona sawubongela mbuyelisa kumukela lihlelweni Yilungelo Lakho. It's your right, your leading consumer affairs show lelikulethela ke indaba debathengi letsematheni. Our topic today was inspired by one of our viewers, Lazarus Tankhe waseLimpopo. Kanti ke lendaba ya Lazarus ithinza ke nalabanye bathengi labanyenti. Kanti ke leli Yilungelo Lakho. Unauthorized debit orders continue to be a frustration to South African consumers. What even annoys consumers more is that often banks wash their hands of this problem, placing the burden of stopping these illegal debit orders on consumers themselves and blaming them for having compromised their personal information, allowing scammers to raid their bank accounts. But now the Ombudsman for Banking Services is working on a system to prevent this theft once and for all.
Cishe sekuphele iminyaka lemithathu kwadvuma umkhuba wekukhwabanisa lobitwa ngekuthi yi-99 Rand scam. Kepha abathengi bathi emabhange akushaya indiva lokhu ngoba ayehluleka kuvimba letigilamkhuba. Kudvumala kwabo bakuvakalisa etindzaweni tekuchumana letehlukene. Halema uthi kunane kube emabhange abasite ababeka licala. Athi mhlawumbe wasayina i-debit order wase uyakhohlwa. Uchubeka athi emabhange asebenzisana naletigilamkhuba. Lexa uthi emabhange ayazuza ngalokukhwabanisa ngoba njalo uma umthengi acela kubuyiselwa imali yakhe uyabhadaliswa. Labanye bathengi bathi lokukhwabanisa chubekela embili ngoba akusiye nje 99 Rand kuphela lothathwako. Lazarus Tankhe waseLimpopo usithomelele naye SMS lebonisa ukuthi kudvonse 139 Rand ku-account yakhe. Kepha uthi akakhumbule entazivumelwano lesifana nalesi namuntu. Uthi libhange lakhe lamsida lamrivesela le mali lethathiwe. Kepha ke uthi njalo ngenyanga kudlalwa umdlalo lofanako. Iyathathwa le mali aphinza acele libhange liyibuyisele. Ngetulu kwaloko sekukhona ke nalomunye 119 Rand lotvonswako.
Abakazi bangincede kahle because lento isachubeka basayithatha le mali. Because even last month bayithathile so ngabuza ukuthi kwenzekani bangitshela ukuthi kufanele ngishintshe account ngivule i-account entsha and yangikhathaza lento le kakhulu.
Kepha engabe letigebengu tiyithethephi imininingwane yasebhange ya Lazarus.
Nami angazi ukuthi kwenzakalani because kuze umuntu ongiconsult ongifonela ukuthi khona amaphepha ngikose ngiwasayine.
Njengoba ke amabhange athi awakhoni kubuvimba lobugebengu, bathengi babe sebendlulisela tikhalo tabo ku-Ombudsman for Banking Services. Odritawu usebenta ngaletikhalo mihla yonke. Uthi kulomnyaka lophelile leli hovisi latfola 200 wetikhalo tekukhwabanisa. Kepha labanye bantfu labanale nkinga abatifaki tikhalo. Tawu uthi cha kebo bathengi abangabhoce emabhange ngemsobo inyama angakayidli.
I-debit order kahle kahle, it's an agreement between wena as a customer and a third party. That third party could be a service provider. The bank has got nothing to do with it. The bank's role in that agreement, it would be to process the transaction. That's it.
Uthe amabhange angasita nje kwesikhashane.
With the bank, what it can do, the most it can do is something called a stop debit order. Okay, so that would stop any debit order from that particular company for a period of 12 months. Unfortunately, that company is still able to access your account by changing a reference number, by changing the amount that is debited.
Bathengi labafana nalexa bathi mhlawumbe sizatfu lesibangela emabhange ukuthi akushaye indiva lobugebengu kuthi ayadla.
Unfortunately, ngama debit order, there's administrative costs involved in processing leyo debit order. With reversing, I found that some banks are lenient. There's one bank that allows you to reverse the debit order yourself. app, you go to the app and you reverse it yourself. There are no extra charges there. But if uhamba uye a bank, ubacela ngicela ninisize ni reverse this, then obviously they charge you. There's administrative costs when it comes to that.
Lesinye ke sikhalo lesalethwa ku-ombudsman siphathelene ne-identity theft. Umthengi lothide watfola ukuthi kukhona lofake isicelo sekuboleka imali ekuthenga imoto ebhange nge-ID yakhe. Libhange lase liyasikhansela lesicelo. Emva kwesikhathi lo mthengi wase ucaphela ukuthi kukhona lodvonsa imali yemshwalense wemoto ku-account yakhe. Libhange lathi lona alingeni indzawo. Lokhu kusekhathi kwemthengi nenkampani yemshwalense. I-ombudsman yase yenda licwaningo. Umphumela kwaba ukuthi libhange lide liqala. Imininingwane yabathengi itfolakala kuma-CV uma bafuna umsebenzi, nakuma-form lagcwaliswa uma bathenga, kanti futhi iyathengiswa. Letinye indlela lekutfolakala ngayo imininingwane yabathengi kungaba ngalesikhathi baswipe likhadi noma babhanga ku-internet noma elicingweni. Bathengi bayexwayiswa ukuthi bayigcine iyimfihlo imininingwane yabo ngaso sonke isikhathi. Zinhle Dlamini Mugabe, Yilungelo Lakho.
Asibonga kakhulu ke umbiko lesicuphelo ke umzinhle Dlamini Mugabe. Kanti ukukhuluma kabanti kuma debit order la ngekho emthethweni asimukele ke Khaliani Pillay lobuya ke South African Banking Risk Information Center iSABC. Siphindze futhi simukele na Uzile Gugushe lovela ke ehhovisi leliphathelene ke necatulula tinkinga temabhange iOmbudsman for Banking Services. We also invited that institution that is responsible for processing payments on behalf of banks, that is the Payment Association of South Africa, but then they declined to be part of this discussion. Ladies, very good afternoon and welcome to the show.
Thank you.
All right. Now, Khalian, I'm going to start with you. First of all, take us through the process of authorizing debit orders. Where does the bank come in? How does that process unfold?
So what happens, Piwe, is that, the whole debit order scam has come about because criminals have actually got hold of people's information. They've got hold of bank customers' banking information. They fraudulently submit debit orders as if it's an authentic thing. So what happens is that the whole process is that all debit orders, they go through a bureau. The bureau actually then submits, it's a processing bureau, it submits bulk requests through to the various banks. So when a bank receives this information to then have a particular amount deducted from a person's account as a debit order, it's an instruction that comes in. Of course, the bank then makes the payments. They don't, I think one of the things that's really a concern, and there's probably a misunderstanding, in fact, not probably, there is a misunderstanding around it, is that it's a very emotional issue because bank customers lose money, and it's going to somebody who shouldn't be getting money. Its money is being taken out of their account. So we fully understand and appreciate the emotion and whatever concerns the bank customer has.
Solely on banks.
And so unfortunately, it's because it's their bank account where the money is coming out of, the bank customer thinks that it's the bank that's responsible. It's actually the criminal syndicates that are responsible. And what happens is that because it's bulk that goes through, it's a whole process in which it's done to try and make it convenient also. Because if you look at it in context, there are hundreds and thousands of debit orders that go through, most of which are authentic debit orders. It's these fraudulent ones that go through, but of course it's a painful process. But the Payments Association, working closely with the banks, are putting measures into place. I believe that it's in advanced stages in terms of how this would actually help close this gap. There'll be verification that the customer actually needs to do sort of additional factor authentication to actually say, yes, this is my debit order, and all those things are in place at the moment. And I think one of the things also that bank customers may want to know about is that what are the police doing about it? These matters are being investigated. Some of the investigations have led to arrests being made. Very recently, 2 suspects appeared with charges relating to about 45,000 debit orders that fraudulently went off. So it's a little slow, and I certainly think that there should be more that's being done, and there needs to be more arrests being made. Right. But the process is unfolding at the moment. From our side, and I'm sure the banking ombudsman will also share with you the things that they're looking at from the point of view of the bank customers that go to them. But we're saying, protect your personal information. You know, try and make it absolutely difficult for anybody to get your information. But I think very important. We heard now the banking ombuds office speak about the fact that banks are making it possible for people to go online and reverse a debit order that wasn't actually authorized by you. So a lot of the banks, especially the bigger banks, have already made this available. But also, you should register for updates, SMS notification, if any monies go off your bank account, so that immediately you're alerted to it, and you can actually either contact your bank and ask for that to be reversed, or do it yourself online if that is available.
Yeah. I want to engage the both of you about protecting your personal information. How do consumers protect their personal information to avert these kind of scams? But Uzile, the banking ombudsman last year received about 200 complaints with regards to illegal debit orders. Just take us through some of the different kinds of scams relating to this.
Simpiwe, thank you for that question, but definitely quite alarming. As you've heard my colleague also saying, the banking ombudsman, what our role is that of a mediator. So we are resolving complaints that do arise from a number of complaints or problems that customers do experience, in this case with unauthorized debit orders. So our role is really to adjudicate over the complaints that customers do bring. And we are also, you know, saying the same message that my colleague was saying, protecting your information. And there's certainly, we can also understand the frustration that our customers are going through, specifically bank customers. Protecting your information, always being aware of every transaction that is taking place in your bank account is very important. So checking your bank statement, and this actually has to be an activity that takes place on a very regular basis. We understand, again, the frustration that does come with the bank charges. And what I think, and certainly what the Ombudsman's office thinks as well, is that we are frustrated at the wrong person or at the wrong organizations, the banks. It's actually scammers who are behaving and who are actually the enemy, if I can use that word. And organizations like ourselves, yes, we've got an important role to play, which is to also disseminate information, educate consumers about what it is they should do. And the good news about this is that consumers are not as powerless. Protecting of information is there. The banks are also actively trying to come up with security measures to protect customers' information.
All right. Now, one of the key institutions responsible in the processing of accounts on behalf of banks is the Payments Association of South Africa, but then they declared that they could not be part of this conversation as a result of, you know, reasons beyond their control. Please join us after this break. Siphinde sinamukele futhi elihlelweni linqondo tethu ke setivuliwe sishayele ke nyalo ku 011-714-6918 or 011-714-6919. Singakachubeki nenkulumo yethu ke babukeli asesive ke ukuthi bathengi bathini ke ngalendzaba.
Bank yakho kamele lentuzane ikusave kuzo zonke izinto ezenzakalayo kuma scam.
Negligence, yes, it's part of it, but at the same time scams are very much high as well.
Banking ngathanda ukuthi protect imali yami ngoba ngiyayithemba. Ikho lapha ngikwazi ukuthi imali yami ingagcineka kahle.
The bank should give us all the information, because when we put the money inside the bank, it's the bank's responsibility to know that where is my money going, where is my money coming from.
They didn't trace, they didn't help me to trace. They said your money is enough, so there's no problem.
I don't think the banks are actually playing a really good role in protecting people's details and having people debiting our money without our authorization.
Who bears the honors of protecting the client's money, Uzili?
The onus is on both the bank and the customer, Simpiwe. And contrary to what customers believe, they do actually have the power. Protecting your information, as we were saying before we went off on break, is one of the ways. Being sure that if it's online banking you are doing, make sure that you are actually doing your banking on a safe...
Okay, information, how do I protect myself?
Like I was saying, it does sound a bit frustrating that a lot of it is actually reactive. Something happens and then one has to actually then react or come to the ombudsman. But we always emphasize the same thing, protecting your information. That is really the onus that the customer can play, and it's quite an active and important role, Simpiwe. I think we shouldn't minimize it when we have this conversation with customers.
Yeah. Now, Kalyan, I'm sure you've heard the viewers there saying that the onus is on the banks to protect our money and the personal information. Just how do we protect our personal information? Do you want to weigh in on that?
You know, I think it's really important because especially in this day and age, we all communicate and we're all using our devices. Let me start with that. You know, I mean, most people have a phone and a lot of people have smartphones and everybody's communicating electronically. And, you know, we go onto social media platforms and we don't think about it. We just post all kinds of information. Let me give you an example. People may go onto Facebook. They're very excited about saying all kinds of things, but they don't realize that they should set their privacy settings at the highest level so that everybody can't see what they're saying. And you may say, look, people don't put their bank account details on Facebook, but it gives the perpetrators, these are smart people, it's organized syndicates. It gives them the opportunity to gather enough information about them that helps them to guess.
What is that information that scammers use? Is it my ID number? Is it my address?
Well, for the debit order scams, they need to have your ID number, they need your name, they need your address. Now, if you just stop for a minute and think about how many places actually has that. Your bank is not the only place that has your name, your address, your ID number, your email address, your phone number. We have put it out all over. We've put it out all over. And also, you know, we say to people, set your passwords or passwords that are difficult to guess. You shouldn't put password 123. You shouldn't put your dog's name. You shouldn't put your child's name, because on Facebook, you're talking about all those things. And that's what criminals harvest, this kind of personal information, and they use it against you. So on the question about who is responsible to protect, the bank will always, and I can give you that assurance, we work with 19 of South African banks that are part of SABC. Will do everything they can to protect their systems, to make sure that they keep security at the highest level. They don't do it once, they review it all the time. They're constantly looking out for what the risks are and how they can mitigate it. Sure. But criminals actually, as a result of their behavior, a lot of the risk lies with you and I as individuals, as bank customers. And the criminals know that, and they know that that's where the vulnerability is. Each one of us protects ourselves differently. The very fact that so many bank customers believe that it's the bank's fault and that's what's leading to these debit order scams, it means that we're not doing everything we can to protect ourselves because we're not identifying where the real risks are lying, you know. And that's why we're saying the minute you find out that there's an unauthorized payment against your account, notify your bank. Let them reverse that transaction. Now, on the issue of fees, it's a sensitive issue as well, the costs. So when you lodge a complaint about a disputed payment, which is what it becomes, then some banks, or if not all of the banks, I don't think it's all, some banks do have an admin fee. But if it's a fraudulent payment, then it's a different situation. But the bank won't know that until it's investigated.
Okay. All right. Let's take our first caller for the day. Sina mkhulu ula ukhona la iJose. So kumele hlele mkhulu sawubona.
Sawubona bhuti.
Siphilile kunjani baba?
Ngikhona unjani?
Siyaphila. Khuluma nathi baba.
Okay bhuti. My disputing all this is that we all know that for you to open a bank account has to belong to somebody. You put your proof of residence, you put your ID, you put your everything. If it's a company, they address everything. Why is it that those fraudulent people, according to me, they can be arrested on the same day? Why is it that they don't demand all this from them as they demand from us? Why is it hard to trace them if we know that you produce all these proof of details?
All right, Baba Siyabonga kakhulu, a very important question there. Thank you so much for your call. I think in tetfu titayitsingisa ke lenzaba emva kwekhefu. Kwanyalo ke asijinga ngasetolo siyabuya khona nyalo. Remember that you can take part in this program by calling us right now on 011-714-6918 or 011-714-6919 or catch us on our social media platforms or Twitter and Facebook. Let's now hear more from the Banking Ombudsman. But before we go on to that, let's hear what the viewers have been saying.
If you are found guilty as a company, then there is a fine of 1,000 Rand for each and every incident that is reported.
All right, before we went to that ad break, we had a caller, Mkulu, who was basically saying that when you open a bank account, the banks need all these nitty-gritties, all the personal information, your proof of residence, utility bills, to open that information. But then when a creditor debits your account, the banks don't require those. And I'm going to throw the question to both of you. Why is that? So then it raises the issue of the security then.
There's huge volume. So if you look at it in terms of context, every single person that opens a bank account has to comply with FICA, so the Financial Intelligence Center Act. And so, of course, all that information would be there. But when debit orders are submitted, as I indicated, it's bulk debit order transactions that are processed through a bureau and then goes through to the banks. Now if you look at the volumes of, if you look at just take yourself, how many debit orders would you have? Just in terms of you, and there are millions of bank customers. Now, if a bank had to call every single person every time a debit order request is made, there would be no other work that can be done. Or they would have to employ so many people, and then, of course, we'd have the issue of high bank charges and all of that. But, I mean, at the end of the day, we're saying that yes, there's a gap in terms of why these things are still continuing. The banks want this matter resolved because it's huge reputational damage for them at the end of the day. The Payments Association is working with the banks in putting into place rules and mechanisms that will ensure that there can be that kind of authentication. So you must remember that with most of the debit orders that go off, the bulk of it are fine. They're authentic ones. It's these fraudulent ones that keep escaping and going through. Yeah. So we're saying for now, bank customers, please help with this process because it's a criminal that's actually causing this. Be on the lookout for it. Notify your bank. Go online. Cancel if you have to. I mean, if you are able to. But the police are working on it.
Okay.
It's not a straightforward, simple thing that can be resolved.
I think also ngenye indlela yophendula ummameli masiqale sicinge kakuhle yokuba i-debit order yintoni kanye i-debit order i-agreement okanye sisivumelana esenzeka phakathi kwami umthengi nalo service provider umthengisi. I-bank is not there xa mna nawe are making this agreement. And into yokuba industry itself respond to the problem, specifically here unauthorized debit orders. Njengoba besitsho i-colleague yamu i-PASA, again Payments Association of South Africa, ikhona solution abanayo ekuthiwa i-debit check. So where we are seeing the industry going, specifically as it relates to unauthorized debit orders, is that izoba khona control measure. And into ye debit check, practically into ithethayo is that xa mna umthengisi ndivumelana nawe service provider, sizokwazi ngoku kubekho i-process that we go through. Ukwenzeka ukuba iibhanki zethu zombili ziyazi exactly yokuba le debit order or agreement that I'm working into, it is agreed and I do know about it. I-debit check is I collect yonke lo information yokuba ndiyavuma nangu bani le service provider, imalini, izawuphuma nini le mali, kangakanani na. So certainly i-solutions zona zayo zikhona, and okwangoku in fact iibhanki zase South Africa and ezibhanki zizi-member banks, ze-banking association by APA ku-2008 apha ku-February, a lot of ezo banks kufuneka zibe sezi-implementile i-debit check.
Right.
Yes.
All right, asesiye lapho ke Alex kuna Johanna, sakumukela ehleleni Johanna, sawubona.
Ngiyakhuluma kuyo i-studio. Yebo njani?
Siyaphila kunjani mama?
Siyaphila. Mina sister wami ubhenka ne-Nedbank.
Okay.
So kunemali ezidonsiwe, I think it's every day. Ngoba ithe makathi hawu uya ebank uyofuna i-statement, bamnikeza i-statement sinama amagama ahlukile and amagama angeke ukhone nokuwabala. Imali every day iyakhishwa, imali yakhe yaze yaphela. Makaya ebank ayokhwika ukuthi kwenzekani lana ngoba umuntu ogulayo ngeke bekangakhona ukuya every day. Ufike lapho bamnikeza ke i-statement esikhiphe zonke lezo zinto. So uye wafuna ukwazi ukuthi manje kwenzekani ngoba yena akayazi lento le. Angeke aloku aye ebhenki every day ayodraw.
Ngicela kuvisisa kunye makuthi uthi baba debita every day onke malanga. Is it the same person or different people?
Some of the names are different. Manje inkinga ukuthi bengazi ukuthi nizokhuluma ngayo namhlanje. Ngabe ngithathile into iphepha lakhe, i-statement sakhe ngikhulume khazela kahle. Akahlali nami.
Okay.
So makaya laphayana bambhatale imali ekuze. Bathi enye yona angeke bakhone ukumbhadala. Khona manje bamthumela ilona baloku bathi kushuthi fanele afake imali ebank ngoba manje i-empty leyo account yakhe.
Alright, ma Johanna, inkinga lenkulu ke le. Siyabonga kakhulu kusishayela. That is Johanna ulapha ke Alexander. Let's take yet another commercial break. Hlala nathi masanyakade. Leli ke Yilungelo Lakho sakumukela futhi mbukeli 0117146918 and 0117146919 are participation lines. They're still open. We're also available on Facebook and Twitter. Let's hear once more from the banking ombudsman.
There's a system that is coming into place. It's called Debit Check. With each and every debit order that goes through your account, you as the account holder must have authorized it. Before they even debit your account, they need to engage with your bank. Your bank needs to be satisfied that no, our account holder has authorized this.
Let's now check in with our social media platform and hear what you are saying about this. Ngungebe says, yes, unauthorized debit orders. I had to change my account. For the whole year, I had unknown companies taking from 99 Rand to 129 Rand. It's really annoying and sad that the banks can't prevent this as these fraudsters keep on changing the reference numbers. Noxolo uthi nami ngithathelwa imali engayazi ku account yami last month kwakuyi 390, this month ngu250. Bathi ke u-credit gain. Angibazi labantu mina ngile ebank yoyivala lento kodwa isaqhubeka. Cela ningisize noma ke ningiyalele la ngingaya khona. Sipho Siroto uthi yena ke unauthorized debit orders are a serious problem. It's a clear indication that your banking information is not safe. And as consumers, we have to check the bank statements regularly to check unauthorized debit orders. Sometimes when consumers report these unauthorized debit orders at their respective banks, a bank cannot trace which company is debiting money from the account. Tobile uthi yena ke a friend of mine money was taken from his bank. He reported the matter to the bank and police, nothing was done. All right, thank you so much for those social media posts. Maybe you can just highlight some of these?
So I think, you know, the frustration is certainly out there. But if you notify the bank and if you lodge a disputed claim, the bank is able to reverse it if it's an unauthorized debit order. If it's done within a particular time, they are able to reverse it. So you will get the money back into your account. Of course, if there's an admin fee, then that gets taken out. But otherwise, the money gets back into your account. So
why do the banks charge for reversals, though? Well, especially when it's not the client's fault.
But at the end of the day, it's the bank's fault also. I mean, people have to work to look into this, to investigate it. You're looking again at the criminal syndicate, you're looking at the bank customer, you're looking at the bank. And if you look at the whole chain of it, where does the problem emanate? Who's responsible? Who gains from all of this? So again, if the criminal causes the problem.
But then the client has to suffer for something that they don't know of, or something that they're not at fault at.
If your home gets robbed, if somebody breaks into your home and they steal your mobile phone, is it your mobile service provider's fault? You know, I know it sounds so simplistic to say that, and it's really not about pushing the blame onto the bank customer. Because the bank customer is the victim in all of this. The bank customer is the victim. And the bank does not, I can assure you there's not a single bank that wants to have an unhappy customer. And that's what's happening. The customer is unhappy, they're unhappy with the bank, and yet at the end of the day, no one's talking about the criminal. No one's talking about the scamsters. That's where the problem lies. And so I'm urging bank customers on behalf of our banks to say, you know, be absolutely vigilant. Be on the lookout all the time. Notify your bank immediately it's happened. Give the police whatever support. And I know some people are saying that the police have not got to them, and it's probably so. You know.
So if the transaction has been classified as an illegal debit order, why charge then? Why couldn't fees on it?
An investigation has to be done to look into it. So it's people involved. It's staff of the bank that has to get used. That their time is being used to actually deal with it. But like I was saying, some banks look at a disputed transaction in a particular way, which of course, let me tell you another thing, and I'm sure the banking ombuds would also have got similar complaints coming in from people. So what happens is that there are a lot of people, genuine, authentic bank customers, who enter into a transaction, submit a debit, authorize a debit order for monies to be taken out of their account. They then very unhappy with the service provider in terms of whatever's supposed to be given. They then go to the bank and they say, stop that payment because I didn't authorize this. Okay. Because now it's another way for them to not pay because they're unhappy with the service. So that becomes a disputed claim. And of course, you know, the bank has to use their time, they have to use their resources to look into all of this, to know whether this is a unauthorized debit order or is this just a disputed claim. Right.
You know? Now, Uzi, let's get more context into this. So, mina ke client ngideposita imali yami ebhange and ngiyalithemba leli bhange ukuthi it'll take care of my money. And then something goes awry, something goes wrong, and then sebayangicharge mina ke for a problem that is the banks. Yini kuyangani lokho?
Must understand Simphiwe yokuba i-bank charge okanye i-bank fee yintoni. It's a payment for a transaction. A service is being offered. So ilendo abayichargelayo. I-fault
a payment for a legal problem and a legal transaction, that is. A legal and an authorized transaction.
Hear me out. An illegal transaction has occurred. In this case, an unauthorized debit order. And remember, kubani source okanye le problem iphina ikweza syndicates ayo fault your bank. So xa ufowuna okanye usiya ebank usithi ndifuna ulungisa okanye ndifuna ureversa apha, ibank izawucharja ifee, le transactional fee. Zikhona amaxesha where i-customers zingabikho satisfied yiloo nto leyo, beze ke kwi-ombudsman, and siyazibona ii-cases ezinjalo. And again, Simpiwe, it's not all gloom. One of the big 5 banks is actually not charging anymore for unauthorized debit orders. So industry again iyayibona le nto yenzekayo, and ndiyafuna ucinga yokuba if one of ezi banks ziyayenza and zithatha le ndlela, nezinye as well may follow.
Surely it's the bank's responsibility. I know you're trying to remove the blame from the banks, but then it happens, I mean, the money gets lost when it is in the custody of the banks. So why am I being charged for this? That's the big issue.
It's not to kususa a problem or the blame where it is. However, it is about placing the blame where it does indeed truthfully and factually belong. And kule case, like your colleague Yamo was saying, it's the syndicates that are actually the culprits or the illegal criminals in this instance. And it's not the bank. Ako banki efuna lose a customer. Ako banki that wants an unhappy customer. Ayikho lonto leyo. I-banks apha, it's not that siyazithethelela okanye kukho i-favor yayo. However, especially as i-role ye ombudsman, as i-mediators, kunyanzelekile sijonge i-facts and everything that has occurred apha. And ayibi your bank, zezi syndicates as Moshaban.
So basically these charges are a source of revenue for the banks. Correct me if I'm wrong.
It's not a source of revenue.
They make money from us.
It's not a source of revenue as if the banks strategize as part of what their business offering is and that this is where they'll make money. If you had to use half an hour of your time to do a particular job, you would expect to get paid. It's exactly that. It's work that's being done. It's staff that are being utilized. And you can't.
But then my question is, it's the bank's responsibility, it's the bank's duty. I mean, it's the bank's duty to do their work. So why should I pay the bank for doing their work?
No, but the bank can't do it. They're not a free service. They're not a free service. Yes. The bank is a business. Yes. A bank is a business, and it uses people and it uses systems and it's time, and that's why you're paying bank charges. Unfortunately, people don't see it as tangible because they can't actually see it, but you put your money into a bank. The bank, there's a whole lot of things that are being done for you. Now, unfortunately, it's a global phenomena that people don't like banks. It's almost sort of like grudge money that we pay. You know, it's that kind of thing. And in the context of all of that, people look at these incidents and the first place they go to, and are we saying...
Uzile?
Yeah.
To turn away, you know this?
I think she's actually said it. She said quite a mouthful. Is this a free service? That is also what I was saying earlier. And again, I think Uku's inform and know as much as possible about e-transactions as not only la bank account. Here's another quite reliable source of information, at least I have found, a code of banking practice. If you look at it, sisivumelwano phakathi kwamu i-bank customer nayo nebank iyastipulate yokuba as a bank sizokwenza the following, and now as a customer this is what we require. You would be surprised about abantu abaninzi abayifundi land and information that's there for us to know.
Sentivele ke emabhange asesiyekele kwabhoxa ngemsobho inyama akayidli. Let's now take our final commercial break. Stay with us. Welcome back. Let's take our final caller. Sinanumbulele ulapha ithembisa. Sakumukele hlele numbulele sawubona.
Yebo, njani Tutu?
Siyaphila kunjani ma?
Ngiyaphila.
All right.
But I'm a little bit concerned on a statement to some Mrs. Pillay. Who mentioned something about if they employ more people to verify debit orders, it will increase the
banking charges.
Yeah. Which means, Bona, they don't care about the customers. The only thing they care about is profit. Because now they are aware of this syndicate and what they are doing. Yet they have a solution of hiring more people to verify. If banks are able to send and notify me to tell me that someone has debited money in my account, why can't they send me and notify me before, as to say there's a certain debit order? Are you aware of it or not?
Okay.
So she also mentioned something about wasting bank resources when they have to call millions of people and notifying them. While at the end of the day, they are our service providers. We trust them with our monies, but at the end of the day, when the money is debited, I also have to pay. For an example, last month myself, I earn 1.5 a month. 500 rand was deducted from my account. When I had to go and reverse the money, I got it was 400 rand. So is it really fair that, is it really fair what they are doing? My question exactly in this statement is that, are the banks not also part of the syndicates if they debit money from our accounts when they have to rectify this mistake?
Good point today. Thank you so much for your call, Yilungelo. Thank you so much. We really appreciate your call. She's throwing the gauntlet on you.
No, sure. And I completely understand the emotional.
Why make your problem our problem?
Yeah, it is an emotional issue. For one, let me just correct that I didn't say that the banks are wasting their resources on this kind of thing. They're completely concerned about not having unhappy customers. I think what we were explaining was the fact that if you are engaged in any work, you have workers that actually do that. People have to get paid. The bank runs a business. So I'm not saying that they want to make money out of these debit orders. In fact, they'd be so happy if they never had a single unauthorized debit order. And yes, the banks will be. You heard the banking ombuds speak as well about the fact that the system that will be coming into place, the banks are busy, I think, with PASA rolling out this.
I think she's making reference to the statement that you made earlier, that the banks need to hire even more people to address this particular concern.
No,
it's the bank's responsibility to pay their staff, and that shouldn't be the problem of the consumers.
I think I didn't say that they need to employ more people. What I was saying was that if you look at the amount of debit orders that actually go through all the time, there are hundreds and thousands of debit orders that go through, and most of those are authorized. Now, if the bank customer would like that in respect of every single debit order that a bank calls, every single customer for every single debit order, I'm saying it is a massive volume. So they're looking at a way in which they can deal with it so that their customer actually is not going to have these problems, that there's some kind of system in place.
Unfortunately. Uzile, your final words, how is this permanently resolved?
I'll say the same thing, and I'll be very brief. Check your bank statement on a regular basis so that you are aware about every transaction that takes place. Secondly, protect your information. Yes. Be careful where and how you transact. Be careful and think before you give out your personal information, not only bank information, your personal information. Yes. Even over the phone, even on the ATM, think about who you're asking for help from.
Yes. Kaliani, just briefly in 15 seconds.
Absolutely. I think more importantly, I'd like to refer people to the SABRIC website, www.sabric.co.za. Click on Stay Safe. There's a whole host of information and tips and advice that will help you protect yourself and, of course, prevent you from becoming a victim of bank-related crime.
And how do we get hold of the Ombudsman, Uzile?
One can use our website, www.obssa.co.za.
All right.
Yes.
Ladies, great chatting to you. Thank you so much for such a fruitful conversation. We've now come to the end of today's show. Let me thank my studio guests for making time to be with us today. Remember that our shows repeat on Thursdays at 11 p.m. Otherwise, you can join us next Monday for yet another live consumer affairs discussion. From me, Simpio Ngoana, and the rest of the team, have a blessed week. Cheers.
Yilungelo Lakho